Hi, and welcome back to Alan's Pantry. Today we're so excited to have two special guests in the kitchen today. We have Debbie Kane and Natalie Hassa from Larry Kline Meats. Thank you guys so much for coming. We're very happy you're here. Please tell us a little bit about your company and what you stand for.
So we're a family meat company in South Florida, and we service the Tri-County area. And basically this business was started 40 years ago by my parents. And they built it on the philosophy of quality and service. And I now own it with my two brothers, and we've continued the family tradition. And along with that, we've gone on to our fourth generation of my son works there and my niece.
Wow. So it really is a family tradition operation. I mean, that's part of your motto, right? Family tradition.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us, by the way. I don't know. It's great because instead of a big company, this company being family company, we care about the people we work with, and we're all foodies, so we really relate to the chefs. So it's a lot of fun.
And I can really attest to that. I really have a lot of trust in the products, the integrity. We've built a relationship over the years. We're not just a number.
Right.
We actually converse on the phone. We talk about products. We're passionate about the products. And I have a lot of trust knowing that if I'm going to order an 8-ounce center cut filet, that every one of them is going to be a beautiful barrel cut, and my guests are going to be happy. And that's says a lot, Okay, so let's talk about some of the cuts you've brought today, and we'll explain the differences in some of the chicken and the lamb we have here, especially this lamb rack. Now tell me about the difference between this product and, say, a domestic Colorado lamb.
So domestic Colorado lamb is very, very popular in the United States, but it's very, very expensive. And it's almost gotten to the point where chefs have to take it off their menu because it's not cost effective. So we have a big movement to the imported Australian and New Zealand lamb. This particular item is one of my favorites, and chefs really love it. It's a 32-ounce and above 8-bone chef-ready rack. It comes French, and each rack is 32 ounces or more. Get a nice big eye, and it literally runs typically half the price of your Colorado lamb. So chefs are really, really happy to put this on their menu, and they're really happy with the product itself. Right.
I mean, I can get 2 portions out of this and still have a lot of perception of value when I put it on the plate. I can sell that at a good price point, and my guest sees that perception of value. So it works from a cost standpoint, and it's a great cut.
Great quality.
It's amazing.
Right?
I have never had a chef that's been unhappy with this product.
Terrific. Okay, so then we also have what you call an airline chicken breast. Tell us about this particular cut and what's so special about the Murray's chicken.
So this is a Murray's pot bone chicken breast, skin on. Murray's is a farm in New York, and it's great quality product. It's antibiotic free, hormone free. It's great, honestly, the presentation when you have it on the plate, it's beautiful when it has the bone exposed. So it looks really good, really good presentation for
Yeah,
a restaurant.
I agree. It's a very nice cut, and it really looks sexy on the plate. Especially if, I even like to slice it and fan it out a little bit.
Exactly.
Kind of prop it up with whatever accompaniments that I'm putting on the plate. It looks gorgeous, and it's great quality. People love it. All right, so lastly we have this veal. This is what we call a veal chopette. Explain about this veal cut.
So a veal chopette, or otherwise known as an end cut veal chop. And what happens is veal, again, has become very, very, very costly for chefs. And so if they want to put it on their menu, one great item is what we call the end cut. And typically, again, it's very, very priced very well for the market. And when you pound it out, you get a nice plate coverage.
Right.
Really nice plate coverage, and it presents very, very well.
Which is what we're going to do with that today. We call it a veal chop Milanese. We run it as a special frequently at the restaurant. So why don't we go ahead and start getting some flavor on these. Let's put some marinade on here, some seasonings, and get them in the pan and get them roasting in the oven.
Do a rub down.
Yeah, a little rub down. I like that. Perfect. Okay, so let me grab that marinade, Natalie. Bring that up to the front. Yes, we'll start with this. Now this is fresh thyme, fresh rosemary, little chopped fresh garlic, olive oil, right? So we're just gonna, oh yeah, gotta have the garlic, right? So we're gonna use that on the lamb, and it's versatile enough to use on the chicken as well, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and slather those up with a nice amount of fresh herbs, garlic, right?
Beautiful.
Get that in there.
One of the
Right.
nice things about the airline chicken breast as well is that you do have the bone in the skin, which gives you a lot of flavor.
Right.
But you can cut it with a knife and a fork. So it really is it's a nice item for people when they're in a restaurant and they don't want to pick a piece of chicken up with their hands.
Right, right, yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Okay, so for the lamb, you know, these bones can be very tender, and you're going to roast this in a hot oven. So a lot of times what happens is they'll either fracture or they'll burn and fall off, and you lose your presentation. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take a little piece of aluminum foil. This is how we do it at the restaurant, right? We're just going to wrap that around the bones, right, to protect them while they're in the oven so that the bones come out nice and pretty, okay? Right, so we got this almost ready to go. We're just going to have to season it a little bit. So let's take some of my special rub, okay? And got to have a little sea salt, of course, right? So we're going to season that up nice.
I have a kind of
Right.
funny story about the bones. So seeing as I'm in the meat business, I like to give my dog.
Spoils our
You
dog.
do not.
I do.
7-star meals.
And I always wrap the bone when I'm cooking for him in the tin foil because that's his favorite part.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. So this spice rub that I'm using, it's 11 dry spices. I toast them in the oven for about 20 minutes at 250 degrees. Okay, and then I grind them up in a little coffee grinder. Not too fine. I like to keep it a little bit crunchy. This will help to create a crust, more or less.
Exactly.
All right, so we're going to need some heat here. Let's get this pan nice and hot for the lamb. Put some of our Campari olive oil. This olive oil is great. It's extra virgin, but it'll still withstand 345 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very versatile. It's awesome stuff.
Love olive
We
oil.
use it in the restaurant every day. Okay, so we've got our pan nice and hot, as you can see, with a little bit of smoke rolling off the top of that olive oil. We're going to go ahead and roast this. We're going to put it in the pan with that fat cap side down first. And you want to hear that sizzle, right? You need some roasting on this. We're not going to boil it, right? We want to get some caramelization on there. In the meantime, let's finish up seasoning our chicken breast, right? We got that beautiful herb marinade on there, thyme, rosemary, garlic, you know.
I love how you use the same rub for both.
It's very versatile, you know. I mean, this marinade could also be used on some fish, like swordfish.
Right.
It's that versatile, right? So again, as with anything, we've got to season it before we put it in the pan. A little sea salt, yeah, and our spice rub, my signature spice rub. We're going to use that as well on this. Okay, now we should have another nice hot pan. All right, for the chicken. And away we go. Nice and hot. Let's use a pair of tongs for this application.
So some people like to put the lamb rack in the oven or grill it.
Right.
What would you say is the benefits or differences of the pan?
Well, you know, I like to roast it in the oven, but I like to get that caramelization on it first, right? And we're going to throw it in a 375-degree oven. It's not going to take any more than 15 to 20 minutes
Right, you're just
because you
prepping
want
it.
it medium rare. You don't want it to go past medium rare, right? So let's go ahead and turn that over a little bit. We're going to throw our chicken in the hot pan next to it. Skin side down, of course. You want to hear that sizzle when it hits the pan, right? Skin side down. I won't burn you. Don't worry. I got you.
I trust you.
I only burn myself, as you can see, so, you know. All right, so while those are cooking, we're going to go ahead and prep that veal chop. All right, so we're going to set this over here. This is the Milanese breadcrumbs, just panko breading, a little lemon zest, fresh chopped herbs.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to use once we finish prepping this. So the way I do it is I put it in between layers of plastic. This is for the veal chop Milanese, right? And then this is a tender piece of meat, so you don't want to hit this thing and hammer it too hard. You want to go lightly, you know, just gently, you know, and I'm going to use the gnarl side first. Let's turn this pan down, okay? Use the gnarl side down, try to get that fibers to break up a little bit. Then I'm going to go with the flat side, right? Pound it out nice and thin. Okay.
Smells so good.
Right?
You guys could actually smell with what we're smelling. Amazing.
Okay. So our standard breading procedure, we're going to start with some seasoned flour, right? Take our pounded veal chop, put it in the seasoned flour, right? You don't want too much flour, okay? We're going to shake off the excess because, you know, you want it to stay a little lighter. Okay, so the next item in our standard breading is some beaten egg. Shake off that excess flour, put it in the beaten egg. Thank you. And then we're going to go into our breadcrumbs. All right. How's that chicken breast look, Natalie?
Looks really good.
Yeah?
So what is the reasoning behind the flour first and then breadcrumbs?
It's what makes the breadcrumbs adhere. If you don't use the flour first, the egg will pretty much just run off of the veal chop, and you're not going to get that same coating.
Okay.
All right?
How that happens now, I know why.
Okay, so got that all breaded up nice. Okay, now we've got another hot pan right over here for our veal. Now this is going to take a little bit more oil than the other two.
For the breading.
Yeah, so the breading can brown evenly. Okay. All right, so that's nice and hot over there. Pan was preheated, see that? Always want to heat your pan first, dry, without any oil in it. Two things. One, it heats up faster. And the second thing is if you get distracted and you walk away, you might scorch your oil. You don't want that to happen either. So, very key. Let me set this aside. Right? And let's look at this chicken. How's it looking? Oh, look at that. Beautiful, nice crust, nice crispy skin. Yeah.
That bone just like pops up actually.
Right? Now we're going to turn the fire down a little bit. And we're almost ready to go in the oven with all three of these.
Wow.
Right? Got a nice, look at that nice crust on that lamb. Isn't that nice? And just keep that foil on there, make sure that foil doesn't fall off, because we want to protect those bones, right? So they come out nice and pretty. Let's take a look at our veal chop over here. Beautiful. Right, so we're going to go 375 degrees. We're going to transfer them onto sheet pans, pop them in the oven, 15, 20 minutes tops. Now, at the restaurant, what we do, since we're so busy, is that we'll go ahead and pre-sear a portion of these, maybe 10, 15 portions, so when the order comes in, it just goes directly in the oven. And it really makes things efficient, you know, cuts down on the ticket time so people are happy to get their food quickly. Let's take a look at that veal. Look at that. Look at that beautiful golden brown Milanese.
Even coating too, and I think that's what we were talking about before. The mistake I've made without doing the flour first is the coating separates off.
Right, it tends to flake off.
Right.
This makes it really stick on there, and you get that nice crust.
Exactly.
You know.
Do you wrap the bone as well with the foil? Or it's just kind of
that one, the cooking time is going to be so short on the veal, it won't matter.
And nice, just a nice thick bone.
Right.
The lamb, it can vary the bones.
Right. So I also put together a sauce. Now this sauce is very versatile. It's going to go with the lamb, and it'll work with the chicken as well. It's a guava tamarind glaze. Okay, tamarind is that power of sour, and of course the guava is the sweetness. So you got a nice balance of sweetness and sourness going on there. And I put in some habanero pepper, just to give it a little kick. Some cinnamon stick, a little star anise, right? I put in some barbecue sauce and veal demi-glace, right? Wow. So I combine all that together, simmer it for about 35 minutes. It's fantastic. You're gonna love it.
Sounds amazing.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I think we're ready to go here to get this in the oven. Let's transfer this stuff onto the sheet pan. pop it in the oven. Like, we got a nice crust on both sides here, so let's pop it down into the oven and finish it off. The veal, we can almost finish this right on the stovetop.
Right.
You know, it's so thin that the cooking time is much quicker than these other two items. All right, so let me pull over the sheet pan. Right, pop that on here like that.
Oh, I love
Chicken
it. You're
breast.
pop it together. Just
Oh, yeah.
the same timing.
Boom.
Love it.
Alrighty.
I have a question. When you talked about the demi-glace, do you make a demi-glace? How do you do that?
Well, it's a 48-hour process, and we start by roasting the bones. We caramelize some vegetables, some carrot, some onion, some celery. We also put in a little bit of tomato paste. We'll take those pans that we roasted the bones in, we deglaze those pans with red wine. See all this crusty stuff that's on the pan? We want to bring that up. We want that to be in the stock. So we put in some red wine once the bones are roasted, get all that caramelization off there. Then we put it in a pot, cover it with water, some fresh herbs, some bay leaves, some peppercorns, and that simmers on the stove for 18 to 24 hours. All right? Once that process is done, we extract all the liquid. Then we put all the liquid in another pot and we reduce that by half.
That's dedication
That's
right there. That's the process.
Demi-glace, half of a glass.
Wow.
Right, so you have a very concentrated beef stock, and it's irreplaceable. There's no substitute for it. You've got to make it right yourself. The products on the market, you can find some, but
It's not the same.
it's not the same. All right, let's go ahead and kill the fire on that pan. Turn this down. We're ready to go into the oven. All right, so we're ready to go into the oven with this. We're gonna pop it in the oven, and then we're gonna put together a little accoutrement for the veal, right? A nice light spring salad. So we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Chef Molly Bravo, the host of Organicopia, the Total Organic Experience. Organicopia is about buying local, eating seasonal, making great food for the people that we love. I'd love for you to join me here at my homestead in the Santa Cruz Mountains, where I'm learning to live off the land as much as possible. And what I can't do on my own piece of property, I'm going to support local farmers and the people around me to bring our community together and our families together through great food.
All right, so we've got our Australian lamb rack all roasted up. We're gonna take those aluminum foil covering off those bones now, and you can see how nice and pretty the bones come out because we've protected them with the foil, right? Very nice. And that airline chicken breast, look how that cooked up. That bone just kind of pops up. I mean, it just really looks nice. And then, of course, our veal chop Milanese came out gorgeous as well. So why don't we go ahead and sample some of this? What do you say?
Let's try it.
Okay, with the veal chop Milanese, you know, it's coming up on spring in our neck of the woods. So I thought I would do a nice spring salad. So I brought some red watercress, some microgreens, and some little baby heirloom tomatoes. And I made a real light shallot vinaigrette. And this was just some finely diced shallots, a little Dijon mustard, fresh chopped thyme, and olive oil, salt and pepper, of course. So a very light vinaigrette to go with the nice spring salad, right? So let's go ahead and bring that veal over, put it on a plate, see what we've got here, right? Then we're gonna take some of the dressing and dress that beautiful spring salad, not too much, okay? And then of course we're gonna have to have some fresh cracked pepper on my salad. I don't know, do you guys like fresh cracked pepper on your salad?
Yes, I love it.
This is the only way to go. A little fresh crack, boom. All right,
Smell the shallots.
right?
Delicious.
Mm-hmm. Right, so we're making this light dish, so we're just gonna put that salad like right on top of the veal.
Love that. It looks
Right?
beautiful and probably tastes even better.
These beautiful little heirloom tomatoes. Flavor is fantastic, right? Look at that. That's a nice veal chop Milanese. And this is just like we would serve it in the restaurant.
Right?
Yeah?
Beautiful.
Put the dressing over here. All right, so yeah, this is just how we would present it in the restaurant. And you see how simple that was to put together. I mean, it was no big deal. Just having really good quality ingredients and putting them together, snap,
Exactly.
right? Okay, so let's look at this lamb rack. How we're gonna present that, Debbie. What do you think? Should we cut it in single bone, double chop? How How do you like it?
I personally like single bone. I'm a girl who likes to pick that up and
Right?
go right for the bone.
Go for it like a lollipop?
I do. I really do.
All right, so let's go ahead and split that rack. And what I'm gonna do is take this,
Beautiful. That is
Perfect temperature.
and you know why this looks so beautiful, and I'm gonna explain this because I've allowed the lamb to rest. It's very important that when it comes out of the oven, you give it at least 5 to maybe 10 minutes of resting time. And what happens is, when you're roasting the meat, all of those juices go towards the center of the eye. And when you take it out of the oven and let it rest, the juices redistribute throughout the meat, so you get that perfect, look at that, look at that.
right.
Melt in
So
your mouth.
I know people are in a hurry, but you gotta give it time to
Right,
rest,
right.
you know?
And one of the other things I tell a lot of my clients is, by the same token, also don't take it from the refrigerator and put it right to the stove either.
That's a very good point. Yes, that's a very good point, because you want that, especially if you're gonna be serving it medium rare. You don't want, it could possibly be a little cold in the
Right,
center.
right.
And then the guest is gonna send it back, right? You're gonna have to reheat it. Now it's overcooked, you gotta cook another one. It's not worth it. All right, so you like the single chops. I'm gonna go ahead and plate those up like that,
Beautiful.
right? Look at that, it's one for you, one for me. Oh, well, maybe get another one here.
Yeah.
So, I made this wonderful sauce to go, this pairs really well with the lamb. I call it a guava tamarind glaze. And what it is the tamarind pulp, guava paste, a little barbecue sauce, veal demi-glace that we make in the restaurant, a little habanero pepper, cinnamon stick, and anise star. Let that simmer for about 35 minutes and then strain it. It's got a little bit of heat, a little bit of tartness from the tamarind, a little bit of sweetness from the guava. It really works well with this
Yeah, I
lamb,
love the guava in it.
right? So I think we need to taste it. Right,
should.
right?
So,
All right,
Bit of
so
people.
are we gonna go for the lollipop, or are we gonna be civilized with the fork? I think we should go for the lollipop. Come on, guys, let's do it. Come on, look.
oh, hear that.
Mmm. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
You need a napkin? Oh, here.
I do. You know,
It's like melt in your mouth.
it is, and the little bit of kick from the habanero.
The balance of the guava, love it.
Oh my god, it's delicious.
Amazing.
Oh, really good.
Wow.
That was really good.
I want to go
That
for
is
more,
amazing.
but I don't want to be too.
All right, let's check out this chicken breast. Now, this cooked up really, really nice. Let me get a little towel there. Let me wipe up this. Okay, so thank you very much. So what I like to do with the airline chicken breast, you know, some people serve it whole. I like to slice it and fan it out. I didn't make any accoutrements to go with this other than the sauce, but usually, let's say if you're gonna put a risotto or mashed potato or some kind of a starch on the plate, you can shingle this chicken breast, slice it correctly, and kind of prop it up on the starch. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So with this particular cut, I'm gonna use the bone as my guide as far as the angle in which I'm gonna cut it. So that same angle here, I'm gonna start here, right? And just give that nice thin slices,
Love the crust.
The beauty, and that's the beauty of
Right.
that cut.
right?
Right.
It's all edible.
Exactly. So let me have a plate, that little square plate over there, Natalie. Thank you. All right. So again, what I would do is probably in the center of the plate, put my risotto or my mashed potatoes or something that's got a little base,
Right,
right? And then I
fanned
take
out.
the chicken, right, put it up on top there so it kind of props it up a little bit. And then I like to open up those slices, right? And give it that kind of
Gorgeous,
presentation.
Gorgeous. And you get the
Right.
flavor from the skin and some flavor from the bone, but yet you have beautiful boneless breast.
Right, right, right. And this sauce is versatile enough, this guava tamarind glaze. It works with chicken well too. So I would take it and just, you know, put a little bit of sauce right on the chicken. So when they pick it up with a fork, that sauce is
Right.
adhered to the chicken. This one we'll use a fork, okay?
Okay.
Right?
You have to.
All right, you
We'll be so
first,
civilized for this.
okay? We've got to try this here. Take a bite, one of those slices of chicken. All right, so
Yeah.
go ahead, come on, dig in. Try a slice of that chicken. Let me see.
Oh, the crispy skin.
I love the sauce with it. It's like the sweetness. It's like a guava barbecue sauce kind of thing.
And it's not dry.
No,
That's
it's
what's so
so-
beautiful
so
about the
tender.
airline breast. It's not,
Well,
not dry at all.
Absolutely, and you've got to cook it just right. My suggestion is, I know they suggest to cook the chicken at 165 degrees, but we don't do that in the kitchen. I tell you, cook it to 160 degrees because the carryover cooking is going to take it that last 5 degrees.
You don't want to dry it out,
So if you cook it 165 all the way next to the bone, you're going to have a dry chicken breast because the carryover cooking is going to be a little overcooked.
5 degrees.
Yes.
Yeah, I want
Yep.
another piece too. It's so good. It's so good.
All right, now what about this veal chop? We're letting this baby just kind of
That's for last.
be over to the side. Let's see what we got here.
Take your fork, not.
Right? Okay, we're gonna take a couple slices of this. We're gonna try this with the salad. Right? You have your forks?
We do.
Come on. Dig in. Try to get a little bit of the salad with the veal. There you go. Beautiful. And so that's what red watercress. You got some microgreens in there. You got some little baby heirloom
Love
tomatoes.
tomatoes.
They're fantastic tomatoes.
A little bit of everything on there.
Right, right. The little shallot vinaigrette dressing the greens.
Pardon my.
No worries, no worries. We're all family here, right? It's a family tradition at Larry Kline Meats, and we're continuing that right now.
Exactly.
Oh boy, that's a big bite. That's a big bite.
Wow, that was amazing. People think if you put like panko on something that it's going to be like unhealthy or fried kind of aspect, but it's light. It's still light
Very light.
with the panko crumb.
So these were great dishes. I thank you very much for bringing these particular cuts of meat. You can't go wrong with them. Just don't overcook them. It's the one thing.
Exactly.
But I just appreciate so much the relationship that we've built, and you as a purveyor providing the products for me at my restaurant has been fantastic. And we really appreciate your quality, your integrity, and the things that you do for the community are just fantastic.
Well, my partners and I really, really pride ourselves on that it's really about what we do in our relationships with people. It isn't about meat per se. You can buy from a lot of places, actually any place. It's about what more can we offer you. Our expertise on a lamb rack, like an Australian lamb rack, that maybe you don't know is out there as a product that can save you money. Put lamb back on your menu and make your customers really happy. It's also about your deal directly with. When you're with Larry Kline, you're dealing directly with us directly. My customers call my phone directly. They get me 24 hours. There's no layers to go through.
True.
So the service is always there. We really pride ourselves on that, and we do consider ourselves family. We consider our customers family. That's what it's about for us. It really is.
And you can tell that it goes throughout the whole company, because even when the driver comes in with the delivery in the morning and he's got a big smile on his face, says, "Chef, good morning, how are you? I got some stuff for you." I'm like, "Okay, great. I got some coffee for you. You want to eat some coffee?" And we'll have a cup of coffee together and jive around a little bit. And, you can genuinely tell that he's happy to be doing
That's
what
the
he's
difference
doing.
between-
He enjoys
Exactly.
working at Larry Kline Meats. He's a very happy guy.
Well, we consider everyone who works with us our family, and that is how we treat everybody, not our customers and our coworkers. It takes a whole team effort to make this happen, and we have to be able to offer you something different than just meat, and that's a relationship, some integrity, and knowing that you can count on us.
Well, I thank you very much for coming on the show. We loved having you. Look forward to having you again soon.
Thank you for having us.
Yes?
It was awesome.
It was amazing.
Such an experience. It was amazing.
So again, these are healthy, delicious, and nutritious meals that you can easily make at home. You can do it. See you next time.